What's going on? Zach Ryan here. Thought I would just hop on for a second, kind of tell the short, abbreviated version of how this project has affected me in the past year, kind of how I got caught up into it, and what it's done for me in my life. I was going to a Sunray Treatment and Recovery Center in Port Orchard, Washington, and when you're in a treatment center, you don't get the news, and one of the house managers left a newspaper in one of the cars, and we opened it up, and on the front page there was this article that said, father and son team Sean and Kevin Dolan have started a website, pimpthisbum.com, and are sending a homeless man, Tim Edwards, to Sunray Treatment and Recovery in Port Orchard, Washington. And we read that, and we were just like, what? What? And so the house manager comes back out to the car, and we all just look at him. We're like, who's Tim? Who's Tim Edwards? And he just looks at us and freezes up and goes running back into this treatment center because we weren't supposed to know about this whole thing. But Tim came up, and my first impressions, I just saw him. He was just completely engulfed in fear. You could just see the fear in his eyes, which is potent. And so I ran up to him because I know how scary it was, and introduced myself and kind of just said hi. Some of the other house managers had told me that Sean had some connections in the music world and stuff. I've always been playing music. It's always been a passion of my life. But I never really have done anything with it because I was using drugs and alcohol daily. And so I tossed Sean a demo, and he said, yeah. And he said, why don't you see if you can write a song? So the day I got out of treatment, I wrote and recorded the Pimp This Bum song. And I'm going to be posting another little video response in just a second here of that song. But I flew down to Texas, so I stayed down there for 6 weeks living with Tim. And I mean, we got to be pretty good friends. And today I'm lucky enough to say that Tim is one of my best friends. And but another funny thing about in the treatment center is when we heard that this homeless man from Houston, Texas was coming to the treatment center, there was some people in the treatment center, I'm not going to name any names or anything like that, but we're all like, oh my God, I don't want a homeless man coming to the treatment center. Like some kind of yuppie girls, but whatever. But it was really awesome watching their whole perception of the homeless change from when they originally had pictured to when Tim showed up, because obviously Tim is a very eloquently spoken, bright man and really, really nice guy. So that was an awesome thing to see firsthand, is a person's perception of what a homeless person is like. But after spending part of that 6 weeks, I was down in Houston, was after Tim had found out that he had family around the country, family that wanted to see him, family that was looking for him. So we took a road trip all up and around the United States, meeting all of his family. And I still to this day think that is going to be a hard experience to top in my life. The just amount of emotion that was in the day-to-day meeting this guy's family, didn't know that he had. Like, it was crazy. I think I must have cried like 3 times a day, minimum. My favorite story of the whole thing was, because I play music every day, I can't live without it, and I wanted Tim to be playing music with me. I mean, I'm hanging out with him all the time, we're good friends. I was like, well, if you could play an instrument, like, what would you want to learn how to play? Like, let's go get you an instrument, let's start playing music together. He said he'd always kind of wanted to learn how to play the harmonica. So we went to try to find him a harp. So we went to a music shop. I don't think we ended up getting anything that day. We go on the road trip the next day. The first person we meet was Cliff, Tim's father's best friend. And without telling him the story, telling him anything about it, Cliff brought Tim's dad's old harmonica out and gave it to Tim. And you can't see it in the shot in the documentary, but it has that scene, and I'm just right out of the camera, just bawling my eyes out. It was the most beautiful thing in the entire world. And that's just such a small little fraction. Like, I think this documentary has huge potential, and I think it's really up to anyone that's watching this right now to spread the word. I mean, the Dolans can do so much to help people, but it's also up to us to get this word out and show the message of this documentary to people. It has great potential, so let's get out there and let some people see it.